Hey everyone, Serge LeBlanc here. I decided to make this quick video to show you another SQL client that I use at work that I find is really useful actually. In the last lesson we learned about a SQL client called pgadmin and show you how to connect to a database using pgadmin, how to look at tables and explore data. But I thought I'd give you another option for those of you who are interested in choosing a different SQL client. We're going to be supporting both of these in class, so in this video I'll show you how to download it, and then in subsequent videos we'll show you how to use a SQL workbench. So you can choose to decide this or not. You can keep on using pgadmin, but for those of you who are curious and interested, I decided to make this video to show you how to download a different option called SQL Workbench. So in the handouts that I provided here, the first link brings you to the download page for the SQL Workbench client. So if we go to this web page, I'm on a Mac, so on the top of the page here it just says download package for Mac OS, right? So all we have to do for this is click on the link, it will download, and then when we open it, actually we don't have to install anything. It just comes as an application, right? So we can just double click on it and start it. But before we do that, there's actually something else that we need to go ahead and download. And that is something that will allow us to connect to our database, the Iowa liquor store sales. And that is a PostgreSQL JDBC driver. Right, so the second link in the handout is this thing here, and that'll bring you to this page. And all you have to do here is just download the latest version of this driver. So in this case, it would be 42. Okay, so it'll give you a warning. File can harm your computer. That's okay. You decide to keep it, right? And here, what's important for this file is you actually have to go and put it somewhere where you will never move it or delete it, because the new program, the SQL Workbench, what it will do is it will reference that file. So it needs to be able to find it, and it needs to stay at the same place. So for example, I can go ahead and I can create a new folder on my desktop, for example, and I can call it SQL Work Driver. Okay, so once I have that folder, I can go ahead and drag this file that I created here. And we'll need to use this later on, all right? So now that we have the driver file, let's go ahead and open up SQL Workbench. I already have my copy downloaded, you can see here, but I'm gonna go ahead and click on this new version that I downloaded. All right, so you might get this message saying that it's an application downloaded from the internet. Are you sure you wanna open it? Some of you might get a message saying, I cannot open it. If you do get that, you need to go into your system preferences, and then into security, which is here. And then in this general file, there should be a message here that'll ask you to allow SQL Workbench to be open. So you can go ahead and click that here. You may need to click on the lock and enter your password to this modification. I didn't when I did it a while ago, but that might happen. So let's go ahead and open it. Okay. So when you open SQL Workbench for the first time, on the left here is a list of connection profiles. So in my case, I have a number of them. This is the client that I use at my work. So you can see there's a bunch of things going on here. We're going to go ahead and create a new one. I actually have this. I was able to test it out for our course, so it does work. But I'll walk you through the steps of doing a brand new connection profile. So similar to what we did at pgadmin, we're going to go ahead and name this profile. So I'm going to go ahead and say GA test, but you can call it whatever you want. You can call it your initials, GA analytics, whatever. It's just going to be for you. You're the only one who's going to see this. Now, in this next drop down, we have to tell the SQL Workbench client which driver we want to use for it. And in our case, we want to go ahead and use the Postgres driver. Let's go ahead and download here. So we want PostgreSQL driver, all right? So we click on this. Now, after we click on this, the SQL Workbench client doesn't know where to look for it, so we have to go tell it. So in the bottom left here, we click on Manage Drivers, right? And it's looking for it. In my case, it looks like it's trying to find this driver here. That may be what's my other program is using. So, but in your case, you would go ahead and click on this, right? And go find wherever you saved the driver you downloaded. In my example, I saved it on the desktop, right? So if I go back, desktop, I created a new folder that I called SQL Workbench Driver. I just go ahead and click on that, click Choose, and that will allow SQL Workbench to use that driver. I'm not going to go ahead and do that because I already have mine set up. Okay, so now that we have our driver, right, the URL that we connect, this is similar to the link that we used during the PG admin setup. So let's go ahead and let's go back to the handout that I have here, and I actually copied the entire URL. So the formatting is a little different than what we did for PG admin. Let's just go ahead, copy that, go back to SQL Workbench, and paste it here. That's all we need. And then next we just fill in our credentials. So the username is, let me go ahead and just confirm that, Analytics Student and Analytics GA. Okay, so we go in Analytics Student, and then password here, we can just click Show Password once we're done to make sure that we have it correctly. So this is Analytics GA. We can click Show Password. Analytics GA. Good, perfect. Now, the only other thing we need to be able to connect to run scripts is this auto commit here. So go ahead and click on that and then hit OK. All right, looks like we're able to connect. So here we connected, and these are examples of queries we'll be going through in class. So yours should open in a brand new window that should look something like this. In the next video, I'll show you a few tips and tricks on how to use SQL Workbench.